maybe I can behave. We'll see. It's only an hour that we have to behave for, right? I think so. Let's see what happens. It's only an hour. Oh, snap. Wednesday, 1st of February. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Camera and Flask. I'm Jem Schofield. And then down there, Ben Barden, Caleb Pike. Hello.
Howdy.
I feel like it's the Brady Bunch.
Nope, this way.
No, that way. And hi, Pat. Hi, Bill. And Ben, welcome back. You weren't even here I mean, there was a little bit of I wouldn't say snafu, but a scheduling conflict around the month of January. And you have gone on vacation and come back.
Yeah, a very short one.
Yeah.
Little few days in Austria with my neighbours.
Ooh, with your neighbours.
Yeah, I ended up sharing a bed with my next door neighbour for the second time now on these things. We end up sharing a very cheap apartment, and then it's just kind of who gets first dibs on the beds, and it's, I mean, huge double beds, and it's like, okay, this is where you're sleeping. Oh, okay. This
is a little game
not
every year?
in any way awkward. Yeah, it seems to be. That's the second time we've ended up, sharing a bed. So that was kind of.
Is it like opposite?
Weird.
So like you do, or you're just like you're sharing pillows.
I mean, this thing's
like that.
Opposites. What?
No, not
foot
quite.
to face? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I think that's worse. Is that not worse?
I think so
Why would
too.
you ever do that?
I don't know.
Exactly,
man.
First of all, Caleb, I wouldn't even do it any of the ways. Any of the ways. I'd say, fuck it, I'm going to the living room. Or is it, no, go ahead.
You'd be head to knee. Depending on the gentleman you'd be bedding with.
Head to waist. Are you saying I'm a hobbit? Is that what? I mean, Ben and I are not that much different in height.
Or ankle. If you and Ben were, yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't say that. Now you're going, what is happening? Hi, Thaddeus. Hi, Wouter. Sorry about the title snafu last time. Shall we? Should we start with the what are you gentlemen drinking, and then we get into
that sounds
else?
Great.
Because we could go on this one for about another 0 seconds, and I'd be happy about that. Talking about how we're at sleeping arrangements. Who's first? Caleb or Ben?
Ben with his bright yellow and
Ben.
Okay, here I go.
All right. Oh, you're going.
So I'm trying something very different for me. I'm not normally a flavored kind of guy, but this week I'm gonna give.
Oh, look at
this guy.
Have I seen that can before?
Beautiful can.
Well, this is the same company that I just can't seem to get away
Always.
from. Prairie Street Brewing. This is Vanilla River. So it is cream ale with vanilla and lactose. Aromatic vanilla creamy.
And lactose.
Yes, that's what is in there.
It sounds like something
if you're out of baby form. Yeah, if you're out of baby form.
Yeah.
Mind meld.
I.e. there is some kind of, cream of some kind in here. So I'm very curious to see how this.
I feel like I need to put a hoodie on or something. I had one on, but it's kind of warm in here.
Smells nice. You have a red hoodie? Because then this would be out of control.
No, red's my favorite color, though. All right, let's go, Ben. Come on.
Okay, so it's a Caleb-esque bottle. In terms of there's not much left in, but the Glenlivet. I had the Founders Reserve, which OG. I thought was very. This is the Double Oak, which is lovely. This is really good. It was really an amazing deal on this. I like this very much.
That's sort of the OG. That it's always good to have a bottle of that around.
Yeah,
beautiful.
It's very good.
Good. Well,
What are you on?
Ben is in prison. It's true. 360 grad. I think maybe, but like an Earth 2 prison, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. I am actually. This is going to be. I don't know if it's a first, but here's the deal. My mother-in-law had a small procedure yesterday in Georgia, heart surgery, of all things. So Jess is, and it went well. And by the way, they replaced a valve in her heart, and they do it through. There's two ways they can do it. They can rip it open, or they can do it through your artery, which they did, and she's home today. She stayed overnight. She's home today and was taking a shower when I called Jess.
Wow.
She had heart. It's unbelievable. But that means I'm Mr. Mom this week, so I'm actually drinking water. So it might be a first because I'm doing all the driving and picking up my son and everything. So I'm being a responsible human being today. So that's what's happening.
That's a good excuse. It's still
Cheers.
weirding me out.
Cheers.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
I haven't had a drink since she left. I'm being so good. I'm like, because what happens like if I wake up, you know, like something happens to London and it's like, 1 a.m. and I have to drive somewhere. I can't muck around. So you got to be, you got, and when Jess is here, whatever, it's, we do. That's true, Colin. We were just talking about that. So Gee Whiz, Wouter, Colin, everybody else, 360 grad, of course. Great to see everybody here. It's great to be back with these fine gentlemen. First and foremost, let's do some housekeeping. I can tell you, and I believe it's true for you two gentlemen as well, I believe that all three of us now have our flights booked for NAB. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Beautiful.
That is accurate.
That is totally accurate. And we are coming in, setting up for the workshops. We're doing Friday workshop, Saturday workshop, and then we're just hanging out at the show for a few days. Yep. And Jessica likes to remind me that I'm just, after my workshops, I'm just having a vacation. Every once in a while, she'll drop that in. Like, you're just
I'm getting a bit of that
out,
as well,
right? Yeah, I know. But that's the deal. So I'm very excited about that. It was good. So it's going to be here tomorrow. It's basically tomorrow. We're going to be doing that. And what have you gentlemen been up to? What have you been working on? Caleb, we'll start with you. Anything interesting?
So a lot of traveling. I've been doing a lot of stuff with the family, so I haven't really been working as much. And then next week we got another big thing, and then I'll finally be like settling in for the year. So a little stressful here at the beginning of the year, just because it's like family wise, it's awesome. Personal wise, it's great. Hanging out with the family, kicking back. But the business side, it's like, not a lot of videos going out, and just watching the numbers kind of die off. So there's that. But have a lot of videos I'm really excited about. And I'm building a home theater, so that's super fun.
Oh, nice.
Really digging that. Yeah. I figured out a way to like move things around in the basement and kind of combine a couple of spaces in one space. And that opened up my old office where that tool wall was behind me. Yeah, that's now going to be a 110-inch projector screen. Beautiful. So framing out the whole space, and found a channel going down the deep end of home theater stuff. I'm like, I'll just throw some speakers up. Nope. Now I'm like built in walls.
As if with you it was going to be anything other than done to the nth degree. I'm looking forward to seeing it because I know that's going to be amazing. Are you going to
do it as budget friendly as possible? No, I've been kind of like documenting it with my iPhone just for posterity's sake.
Question for you on that. Yeah. I think the most interesting thing to me will be what your projector is going to be, because I'm assuming you're going to do 110-inch with the projector. Are you going to go 4K?
Kind of. I'm going with the Epson 5050 UB. It's a 2K with I don't know what they call it. The way the 3 chip thing, they can kind of like faux make 4K. But essentially, this projector in particular, and Epson projectors in general, kind of sound like the Arri Alexa of projectors, except without the price tag, in that their 2K is really good, a really great 2K. And you're getting way brighter HDR. So it's an HDR, and I'm getting it used, so I saved a ton of money on it. So that's kind of what I'm going with.
Nice.
And then Atmos doing the speakers in the ceiling and the whole thing. So it'll be interesting. but it's a lot.
Family movie
It's taking
nights.
way longer. Yep.
Yeah. That sounds cool.
Exciting.
It's gonna
Very
be
exciting.
crazy.
How about you, Ben?
That's me. Missed
This
you, man.
week,
It's been a while.
it has been ages. And last year, in fact. So, what have I been doing? Work-wise, just masses of planning stuff. So I've got a big trip to the UK next week. So I'm going on Monday, and I'm doing other stuff on the East Coast, and then over to Ireland for a few days, which is great because it's a one-day shoot, but then, which is Friday, we've got to be in Wales on the Monday, which means I can go see my cousins and hang out and a few days in Dublin and then back over into South Wales due to their back home. So, yeah, all of that. And we're working on a lot of port sites. And I don't know if it's the same thing with you in the States, being the litigious kind of nation that you are. I don't know whether, in terms of when you're going to these things, massive amounts of paperwork in terms of risk assessments and method statements and all just this. And it's for every site that we're going to. I think we're going to 8 or 9 sites. So it's just a huge amount of that this week, and a big insurance complication that my insurance broker came up with today, which has put a bit of a spanner in the works with all sorts of things. So it's just meaning having to sort out, all sortable, but just a day of paperwork, stressy stuff for next week. But once it's all done, it will mean that it's plain sailing, and it's going to be a kind of intense 2 weeks, but very good. Cool. Looking forward to it. First one of the year, kind of ready to get back on the road again now.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. Good. What are you up to, Jim?
Still some remote production stuff, but Jess is landing on Monday night, and I'm actually taking a red eye to Florida by way of Atlanta, the busiest airport in the world. Or at least, no, I think it's in the world. And I can't believe this. I actually did the math on it today. For the first time since 2019, flying to an on-location production that I'm producing and directing with like a real crew. Like I've done small things where I've DP'd and, there's 3-4 people and, it's stuff like that. But it's like, 10 of us and we're shooting for 3 days. And so I've just been inundated with that this week. And of course, worried about my mother-in-law, but I'm excited. I don't want to do this. I mean, I do want to do this a lot, but it's, you don't want to be on the road 3 weeks out of the month. That sucks.
Right.
But, not going out on the road for a real production in 3.5 years.
4 years?
Yeah. It's insane. It hasn't been 4. I think, end of 2019, I'm sure. Yeah. But since the pandemic. So I would say it's a good, we'll just say 3 years. We'll call it 3 years. Cause I think I had a production at the beginning or something at the beginning of 2020, but that's just a ridiculous amount of time because I would do a half a dozen to a dozen of those every year. And so it's just nice to be back. And it is kind of like riding a bike. You've got to remember all the little things, but if you're producing it, it's a lot of little things, but I'm excited to get out there. And plus it looks like the weather's going to be nice, so that won't hurt either. East coast of Florida, West Palm Beach area, not the worst thing in the world.
Nice.
I get to work with some new people and some people I've worked with before, so I get to reconnect with some people I haven't done production with in a long time. So it's good. I think it's going to be exciting.
Nice.
That's me.
Nice.
Sick.
Yes.
Very cool that things are getting back to normal. That felt so weird, booking the flights for Vegas for NAB after a hiatus of however long that's been. That must be 3-4 years, is it, since we did that?
Well, it was 3 years since last year when Caleb and I went. It'll be 4 years since you've been.
I think the last time I saw you is when Cassie was with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think that was 2019.
Yeah.
That was such a good one.
It only feels like a year or two ago. 4 years.
Shake Shack.
Yeah.
I was there the other day, but not the one in Vegas. But they let me in. They didn't know anything.
I'm looking forward to it
time limit
so
is
much.
expired.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon. Good. please feel free in
What's
the
up,
chat
Brandon?
to share what you've been up to. And, we're going to jump into some nonsense. Caleb, you're a good screen sharer. Do you want to bring up new shooter site, maybe? See what's happening?
Sure.
Or do you want to do that? Let's do that. And then we'll see what's
Whoops.
going on. Oh, I like this. No, it's like Inception. I love it. Here,
Wait
I'll
a
stay right
second.
here. Boom. I like it.
What's going on here?
And
Multi-view.
as always, people in the chat, and at the C47,
Oh, that's right. Wrong menu.
If you want to
There
bring,
you go.
if you want to bring up a topic or have a chat about something, let's do it. Boom. Okay, let's see what new shooter's up to.
Whoops.
What's this thing? Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the thing.
Ah.
This is a homepage.
Yeah. So
Huh.
this is kind of interesting. I saw a thing yesterday on this, and then it hadn't been posted yet. It was sort of on social, and then this B-Raw toolbox. Anybody download it yet in the last 7 hours? Blah blah blah. It's native B-Raw and Final Cut Pro. Think that's kind of interesting. Don't know anything about it.
Definitely.
Has anybody read up on it? Talked about it? We've talked about it in the past. I don't know if it's something that is in my workflow right now.
Yeah, very,
thing-
very interesting.
Yeah. I know, what's interesting to me, I think, is it's not camera dependent, right? Because if you use Blackmagic's monitor recorders, don't they all record in B-Raw?
Yes.
Is that right, Caleb? Sir?
With certain cameras.
If you use what? The recorders?
Yeah, if you use their external monitor recorders, they can record B-Raw from a certain number of cameras that support it.
It's
right?
not a huge number, but yeah.
Oh, right.
You don't
right.
have to shoot on a Blackmagic ergonomically
true.
challenged camera in order to get B-Raw.
That is true.
So
I
that
would
might be
imagine the
interesting for some
best
people.
the best situation might be what is this? I think Nikon supports their stuff. So I know a lot of people like the Z9 or the Z9.
Oh, and Fuji. I think that the new
Oh, does Fuji?
I think the X
Oh, you should check this out.
H2S. I really should. Cuz that would be pretty cool.
You know what you should do?
Yeah,
You have that camera, right?
I do.
You should like as quickly as possible download the app, do a video on it, like start to finish workflow, and be like one of the first person to like Final Cut.
I need
Final Cut
the monitor record. I have
Blackmagic
to
Raw.
reach out to Blackmagic though.
Yeah,
Nice, David.
yeah, should do it. Because it's probably one of the only cameras that people would actually do that on. You know, some Nikon, but it does not. I imagine there's more Fuji shooters than there are Nikon shooters who are interested in that stuff.
Yeah. All right. I'll think about it. All right. Maybe some phone calls. Beautiful.
Do a live stream on it.
Yeah. Anything else that you've seen that on New Shooter or anywhere else that people have?
That on New Shooter?
Yeah, New Shooter or anywhere else. Weird thing about that Rotolite
Here.
Airy patent issue, which I didn't really know was much of an issue, but apparently they've resolved it.
Yeah.
Brandon's
I've
asking
not-
about audio.
Oh, this thing's kind of interesting. Have you seen this?
Show me. What is it? Which one?
It's a little
yeah, I
handheld
did.
recorder with 32-bit.
Yeah.
So
that's really a
what do we got
competitor
here?
to what, the F3 from Zoom? Would you say that? Doesn't
No,
the
it's
Zoom...
more like a H6 kind of thing.
The
H5,
six, yeah.
H6, H4n.
Mhm.
Yeah.
2 XLR inputs, 32-bit, and then yeah, pretty slick.
Yeah. What's the
I
MSRP?
just want the different, not a lot.
Wait, who's
see
that dude
here.
holding up that thing right there?
I think this is B&H, so this is like B&H's
Okay.
guy.
I don't know. I don't know if I would let that guy near my kids. I don't know. He looks kind of creepy. Instant
He's probably watching
reaction,
the stream.
I'm
He's like,
sorry.
"Hey."
I know.
That's
I'm
not
just
nice.
kidding. I know.
Okay, it's 369.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
not bad
Okay. Yeah.
for 32-bit two mics.
Is
But
it
then
two
again,
combo?
I mean,
Is
I
it
would
is
probably
it two
lean
combos?
toward
What?
this
But
thing.
is it two combo inputs? That's what I was thinking. That's the F3.
Yeah, this is what I would do probably.
But didn't I just say
price,
that?
But I just like the form factor on this.
You did just say that,
Huh?
yeah.
I think that's what I said. I was
What
saying,
the-
isn't this sort of a competitor to the F3? But obviously, this has a stereo mic.
Right.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
the
It has
Zoom
a stereo
F3.
mic and it has other inputs, but I'd probably just go with this guy because he's so cute.
Yeah.
That would go in an audio
adorable.
bag much nicer too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, I don't know if I really saw anything else here.
Yeah. Nothing crazy.
Streamer, mobile workstation. This great. What do we have here? Oh, innovative.
Yeah.
Oh, innovative. Oh, okay.
$25,000. No, not really.
New map box. I've seen these guys before. These guys have been kind of showing up a lot recently.
Yeah.
Like you know what plugs for your mics.
Mm-hmm.
They're really cheap.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else? Anyone else see anything interesting going on?
No, I tell you what I'd like to see.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
On the top of the new shooter site, there's the Power Junkie second one, which
that's
I've been playing with this last week.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. What's the big difference with that
focus
one compared to the original?
USB-C PD.
Good.
So what's really nice with this is, so I went and had lunch with Billy last week. So Billy's in Prague these days, so just down the road from me. And
he lives there?
Yeah. So he's married to, he's like me, he's married to a Czech, and kids here, a whole shebang. He's moved lock, stock, and barrel. So yeah, we went and had lunch and gave him what to play with, and it powers the R5C over the USB-C. So you get all of the high frame rates in 8K.
Interesting.
Unlocked, which is really useful. So in some ways, obviously, you've got slightly more bulk than you would with, say, the small rig, the little 50 V-Lock thing, which I've been using with it. But the beauty of this is that you can just have loads and loads of the cheapy MPFs and just be pulling them backwards and forwards. Yeah. So I haven't used it on a job yet, but I've tested it with the camera and it seems to work really, really well. So we'll see. And it's got a couple of barrel connectors with a 12 and an 8 volt out as well. But the USB-C is the interesting thing. So yeah, that's very cool.
Good. All right.
Nice.
Well, that's interesting. I might be doing some stuff again with the R5C soon, so it's good to know about that. I'll talk about that.
Oh, and Tilt have done something as well with their handle
I saw the
thing.
Tilt
grip.
One. Yeah, because that's
so
also
you can have a nice
that's a
grip
power
that
delivery.
powers it.
Because it's basically just a power delivery battery, and you're just doing that as well. But it's just
that whole thing is just hilarious when how ridiculous that is. That like the camera's like crippled until you plug another cable into it to supply another battery. Yeah. Like why couldn't they allow enough power through the battery door with like a dummy battery and just make it all go away? Or wait, you can, but it's ridiculous.
The thing is with the nice thing with using USB-C stuff is you can leave a battery in it. So if you ever end up accidentally yanking something out, the connection goes in the USB-C, it's going to revert back and it's going to keep recording. But yeah, exactly. The whole camera's weird like that, and it's the big for that it really should be using the cameras from the batteries from the C200 and the C70.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's what it needs. It needs that battery in it. But they've obviously tried to keep it to that same form factor to an extent as the R5, and it's just a bit of a fudge. It's great in many ways, but the power thing is a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, so we'll see how it get on with it running it on sort of full days. But that was the thing with the grip, is that's not a removable battery, is it? The tilted thing. It's just that's what it is. You have to then charge up the handle again.
Oh, I thought it was an MPF, or a version with an MPF battery. Yeah.
Oh,
small rig.
I didn't think so. Okay.
So. Yeah.
I don't think the
Wouter,
the Tilta one that's been released recently has it, but
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I think that one just seems to be like it's an all-in-one thing in the body. I don't think there's room within that to have an MPF on it, unless it's the really tiny ones, in which case you're not getting a huge amount more than
15 minutes of
the LPE6
juice.
Yeah. Anyway, interesting stuff.
Wouter did the lava cart thing at the beginning, I think. Yep, there it is. And I just saw here, Came TV.
Oh yeah,
production
I
carts.
saw that.
Yeah. They're basically rock and roller carts. I mean,
they are rock and
that's
roller carts with a
effectively-
shelf.
Well,
which
rock
is
and rollers
nice.
had a shelf for years. I mean, I have the
Yeah,
shelf
I know,
for the
yeah,
rock
yeah.
and roller cart, but yeah. So I mean, they're doing a rock and roller, but I guess the only issue is it's not like it's half the cost of a rock and roller. You know, I think that's probably the thing that. I love my rock and roller cart.
How much was your rock and roller cart?
This looks a little more beefy to me.
Yeah,
It
Not
does.
I mean, there's different versions,
Necessarily
but I mean,
cheap.
no. I mean, if it was
There's a
coming
rock
in
and
at-
roller right there. Okay.
Boom. Yep. I mean, I don't know how much beefier it is.
Okay,
It
I
might
see.
be a
So
little. Yeah.
Bigger tubes. These joints are what interest me a little more. They're a little
Yeah,
monstrous or a little more juiced up, whereas these always were really wussy.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
always wobbly.
Granted,
for sure.
I always overloaded those things. I always
Me
did
too.
like a couple C stands on top
Likewise.
of a Pelican case. Yeah.
Did I tell you about the Jacob Javits Center thing that happened to me? So I was staying. I used to teach workshops at shows there. I mean, and one time I loaded up this cart. I parked and I loaded up a cart, and it was the day after. No, it was the day after that Trump won. And in the Javits Center was where Hillary Clinton was going to give her, I'm the president of the United States speech. So the whole city was very on edge that next day. And it was also that I was going into the place where they were breaking down her whole stage and everything else. And it was before I swapped out the wheels. So they were, you had to pump them up. And I got in there. I had so much stuff on the cart that I could barely pull it down the street. And when I got into the building, all of a sudden there was this loud explosion and everybody dropped to the ground. And I looked around and I dropped to the ground and I realized that one of my tires had blown on the rock and roller car.
Oh,
And
man.
it sounded like a shotgun had gone off. And you should have seen everybody, because everybody in the city was just like electrified. Because they were also doing, it's like the Hunger Games that night, because on the Empire State Building, they had these screen, they were broadcasting the vote. And then you would hear like, boom, and you'd hear all these, and the city was silent that night. I know people who, and so it was just one of the most bizarre days. And then that happened, and it was just ridiculous. So. But there you go. That's a stupid story, but that's
That's great.
And Rick,
Wow.
I
Did no one
totally
say
agree
anything
with
to you?
No. And then I was just like, nothing. It was just like nobody was right next to me, but there was all these people around, and then I had
Did they
to figure out
clock
how
that
to
that's
get my
what
equipment.
happened?
Yeah, I think
Did they clock that
figured
it was
out.
you? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm not taking pot shots at Hillary. What are you talking about, Rick? And by the way, that shelf is the biggest pain in the ass to put on the rock and roller cart. In fact, it never fit perfectly. So hopefully this other cart is better.
Maybe you need it at lavacarts.com.
Have you looked for that? You could probably own that right now. But meanwhile,
No,
360
Lava
grand
Carts
probably
is a brand. It's already like a shelf company
it
that
is?
makes custom
Oh.
shelves for
Well, I'm
these
losing
carts.
it right
Yeah.
All right, I don't
But
know.
then I said Lava Cat accidentally.
Oh, that's
and then,
why.
Or I accidentally Googled Lava Cat instead of Lava Cart.
That's right.
Saw a bunch of images of cats
That's when
made of
we
lava and was like,
that's
I
when we
need
got into
to
all this
have
mess.
that brand. Yeah.
All right. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I think when we get into March, that's when we're going to start to, all the rumblings are coming in about a month before the show.
Mhm.
And then middle of April. And I would expect we're going to see at least one or two cameras at NAB. I would expect.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Is that still a thing? Launching cameras at NAB?
Well, it's kind of weird because this year it's bonkers. You have Cine Gear New York in March. You have NAB in April. And then you have Cine Gear LA at the beginning of June. It's, I don't know. And then when's the show?
That's
It's
like a
always at the
month
beginning
earlier,
of
isn't
June.
it?
Yeah. No, it's always the first weekend of June for Cine Gear in LA.
Okay.
Always. I've heard some rumors. Hopefully it's going back to a lot. Maybe not. Who knows? And then I have a question. What's that show in London that's getting traction? Is it BB something? BSC? What's the name of that show?
The
No.
the BSC show.
Yeah, the BS
it's
show.
sometime in
Yeah.
the next. It used to be in January, quite early on in January. It was always
And that
quite a
show's
nice.
supposed to be a good show, right?
It is a good show, but it's 2 days and it's quite small.
Yeah.
And it's very busy. The last time I went was when pandemic was kicking off, so I guess January 2020, and it was really busy. So if you go on the first day, it's not so bad. I think it's Friday, Saturday. It was good. Roscoe always used to do a really nice event the night before, and it was always a nice thing to go and just hang out with that crew.
Roscoe.
Phil from Roscoe, who we always see every year at Camera Image, and they do all their amazing backdrop stuff. He's a very clever and interesting man who kind of came up with this. And I don't know if you've seen the things with if you light this same backdrop, it can be daytime, nighttime.
Yeah,
so
cool.
that's kind of his
soft
thing.
drop.
So the soft drop,
drops.
exactly.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. So amazing stuff. So they always have a thing. It's always really nice to hang out with those guys. But it's a nice little show, but it is small. It's in a fairly small venue. There's not huge numbers of vendors, kind of good vendors, but it's not a massive thing. It's not an NAB or an IBC scale sort of event. But it's now moved into February, so it's sometime in the next couple of weeks. And I think it's when I'm in the UK, but it's
so
not.
Then there's
I'm
that.
just not
then
in
there's
London.
Cine Gear New York, which is going to be at Industry City, which is where Able is, and a bunch of other companies. Then you get NAB. So it's kind of weird because we're scaling up. But I want to get everybody's take on this in the chat as well. And I'm going to give you the lowdown here. I think we talked about this last year, Caleb. Last year, everybody cashed in their NAB credit. I'm not supposed to know about this, but I don't care. It's NAB. So they cashed in their NAB credit, which means that the pandemic happened. And then last year they said, you either, exhibit this year or you lose your credit. So it was a pretty decent sized show last year. It'll be interesting to see what happens this year. Who is going to be there and who's not going to be there. Because for sure, there's going to be at least a couple of companies, I think, that won't be there. I think we're still going to see Sony and Canon, and we're still going to see Panasonic. I'm wondering if there's any big companies that we're not going to see at the show. And if it's going to start to be, I don't know. I mean, even if it's like a Zeiss or somebody like that, if you don't have a company like that, that says something. They're not huge, but they're sort of in that middle tier. And they've always had a presence, so I'm interested to see where that goes at NAB. I don't know. Because it doesn't look like we're having less shows, but what will happen to NAB 3 to 5 years from now? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Question. But then I'm hearing stories of smaller companies getting bigger and bigger booths. So you never know. Maybe it'll just the cultural change.
Or maybe
do you think
NAB,
that's from NAB side in terms of that they're doing discounts on booths?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, it could be, but there's a company I was talking to that they were there this last time, and they were very like, let's hook up with and hang out with YouTubers and like really go for it with like YouTubers and their followers and just kind of make a cool place to hang, kind of like Zacuto in 2014.
Yeah.
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 And they did great, and so they're doubling or tripling their size of their space for this year. So maybe that's the kind of thing that happens. And I've noticed that in the last couple of years, the last 3 or 4 times, there's been a lot more of that kind of stuff. It's turning into an event where a lot of like people who like all of us who hang out here online, it's something we can all go to, and hang out, even though it's the National
Yeah.
Association of Broadcasters. It's so weird.
It has been for ever since I started going this kind of weird two-tiered thing, because you've obviously got the kind of the organization in that show that's been going on for ages, and we're honoring Ron from
Suit and Tie, Vans,
whatever.
Taz.
Yeah, the exactly all that stuff. It's all that kind of slightly Ron Burgundy stuff, which is great. That one stand actually had Ron Burgundy presenting because
that's amazing.
I remember that
scheme stuff. And
I
like
remember.
Stuff. Yeah,
I remember.
I called him something
great.
else. I think accidentally in a Freudian slip. I remember we were yeah. Anyway. It's good. Do you remember that stand down there? Did you see the guy dressed as Ron Jeremy? Do you remember? I don't know who Ron Jeremy is, by the way.
No,
it was
who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's this strange thing that there's all of that, and then there's all of the kind of the up and coming stuff as well, which was all exciting. Yeah. But and Wouter just mentioned about IBC and that being. It's a big difference between those two shows. In terms of scale of the exhibition floors, I would say they're similar-ish. In my experience, I would say in terms of the social interaction, NAB's way better. I just found there were fewer events. It was harder to socialize. I mean, it may just be that I'm not invited to the right things at IBC, which is probably what it is. Yeah. But personally, I've always found it's nice to go and hang out because you always go with friends to IBC. So I always have a really good time there, but it doesn't feel like I particularly meet anybody new. Whereas NAB's great. So I don't know what's happening this year in terms of events and whether all of that stuff at the same scale that it's been in previous years with company stuff going on. So it'll be interesting to see.
We're in about a month we'll start to hear about some of that stuff, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like you said, Caleb, if that trend continues, even going to Aperture's thing last year, the amount of people that were at that one event, which was kooky, but and I felt like I was a grandfather or something. But besides that, if they can pull it off and these younger companies can increase their presence at the show, then maybe that's how the show evolves, or it just goes back to being a broadcast show and gets smaller. I have no idea.
Do you think that there was a trend a few years ago where there were people? Obviously, the whole of that world is then concentrated in Vegas for that week, and there was a trend maybe 5 years ago where quite a few companies were just not doing the whole thing on the show floor. They were renting a suite in a hotel down the strip. And then they were doing all their social media stuff, and you would go, and it was kind of quite a weird experience. You go up to some 100th floor apartment, or then you go into this suite, and then there was demonstrations of that. It was a lighting company, and I can't remember who it was that I went to one, and it was just surreal. But I wonder if NAB are going to have to try and bring those back in and try and make that a bit more attractive, and the pricing's changing.
What Creative Solutions did last year, which is small HD, Teradek, wooden camera, is they didn't have a presence on the actual floor, but in the central hall, you went up the escalator, and they had this cool little room that you went into, and they took you from station to station, and Andrew was, PR guy, marketing guy, would take you, really marketing, to each of these stations, introduce you to people, and you would see the new stuff that they had. So it was very sort of intimate, but you were literally in the central hall. You just went up the escalator to where the rooms are where they have workshops and classes, and they had transitioned one of those into that. So if NAB's smart and they want this show to survive, they're going to have to adapt and make some changes. I want to get to a couple of questions. Brandon's asking, need a simple wireless system for man on the street interviews, Rode Go 2 or the DJI mic system. No experience with DJI mic system. Really like the wireless Go.
I played with it today for the first time.
And good or not? Okay.
There's some things that are really like the little magnet thing. That's such a simple and the form factor of the embodiment, the great. So it's easier to hide under clothing is essentially what that boils down to.
Well, you have a magnet option for the wireless Go too.
Right. So I mean, but that comes in the box with all of that stuff. It's very easy. The menu system to get in and control things on the DJI one is better than the Rode's.
Got it.
Definitely.
Oh,
but I've used the Rode.
Well, it exists.
It is. Yeah,
right. There
it
is a
exists.
menu system. Yeah.
And the Rode one I have, maybe I'm just not very bright. Maybe there's no maybe about it. But I find that very hard when you're, say, trying to, with the transmitters that you can control from the transceiver, but then there's I've had problems with that in the past, and getting it all tied in knots and having to go back and plug it all into the app to be able to reset it and get it back where I want.
Right.
So the DJI thing's very good on that front. The guy who had the DJI one, who we were messing with, one of the two channels was drifting. So he had
DJI?
Yeah.
Oh,
now, I don't know what this is, and I don't know what, this may have been user error in something because it was recorded onto an external recorder rather than into a camera. But one of the two, they start off perfectly in sync, and then you're getting really kind of almost like odd phasing going on 5 minutes into that particular audio take.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Caleb?
That's it. It could be user error. It can't be, read the reviews and everything. If someone else has come across it, he said he'd seen someone else. He'd been reading on forums and things, and he'd found other people had issues with
same problem.
With same problems, but so I can't say. But in terms of the form factor, the fact that it comes in the nice little case and it charges everything simultaneously with a single port, that's massively useful on the DJI thing. I've been very happy with the Rodes.
Oh yeah,
but there's a lot to like about the other one too.
Yeah.
Okay. Caleb, thoughts?
I prefer the Rodes, but I will say that DJI, it's less expensive and you get more stuff. Yeah. Because like the magnets, you got to buy the extra magnets from Rode and all the little things you got to buy. Whereas that thing, I love the case, I love everything about it. I found that unless you use it right here, it's not very good. And it's not as versatile with other microphones. Whereas the Rode, it's such a hot signal. There's nothing you can't. You can almost plug in an
original
plug just about anything in there.
Original NTG1. Yeah. I mean, I had like nothing coming out of it. It's ASMR, the original NTG1.
Yeah. So that's all great. But like Ben said, you have to use the app for stuff. And they did an update recently where you can plug it in and just pull files off of the drive on there without using the app,
which is much better. Yeah, it's a huge improvement. Yeah,
but they need to figure out a way to update the UI where you can use the buttons to do more, or come out with a version 3. And the one thing is, every once in a while something will just go haywire. Like today,
on what
I recorded. I recorded on the wireless. In camera, but I always use the recording off of the original transmitter because it always sounds better.
Way better.
By a lot.
Yeah.
And it's always worked well, but today, for whatever reason, it just didn't record. I have it set to automatically record and overwrite old files, and it just didn't record. Yeah. So it recorded this morning, but not this afternoon.
How weird.
So that's the kind of stuff that's like, come on. And I'm filming by myself. I'm not sitting there monitoring it, but stuff like that's annoying. So I would say of the two Rode, they're also way more durable. The DJIs are a lot more fragile.
Okay, right. But we were talking about this, just to digress slightly, but in terms of a Mark III version of the Rodes, things that would be amazing to put in. So just in workflow, having used that, and I'm the same.
Yes,
Caleb, that the files off the internally recorded files are way better than what's coming through the wireless and into your camera. So I prefer to use those, but it is a pain in the arse to sync all that up, particularly if it's been a full day of shooting.
And there is
to find the stuff.
Gap.
Time. Yes. See, this is the thing.
What?
And I know we bore everyone enormously with.
Let's do it. Let's go into it.
The time code.
What should Rode do?
Time code.
Oh, yeah.
Time code's what they should do. Time code into the recordings that are going onto the individual transmitters, so that the files that we like using off the devices. Time code in all of that, and being able to easily sync that, and obviously 32-bit flow, which we all want and everything. But that would be an enormous improvement to the general workflow of it, because the files are way, way better. They're great, but just make them easier to use and sync up with whatever else is going on.
Well, my
Rode should
feeling
do two things.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah,
no,
sorry,
go.
we're doing
I'm
here
ready.
Gem's thoughts. If I'm Rode right now, I'm gonna stop making headphones, and I'm going to take the Rode Wireless Go 2, make a version 3, where it has a touch screen or more buttons, a way to do more things. Fix the weird recording stuff, larger internal drive so that there's no little like 1 or 2 frame gaps in between the 30-minute recordings on the high quality. Just sort out the bugs. Then you have your Rode Wireless Go, have a Rode Wireless Pro, and it's the same idea, but just go pro with it. Locking connector, 32-bit float, essentially take, proify the Go. So you have your Rode Wireless Go and you have your Rode Wireless Pro. Just like you have your Rode Video Mic Go and your Rode Video Mic Pro.
And timecode in the Pro.
Yes.
So even
time
if
code
just,
in and
even
out.
Because then that's difficult, obviously, that most people use those with SLRs, DSLRs, the mirrorless, and you're going into those, and you haven't got a spare audio track because you're using both of the audio tracks for your two transmitters, for your 2 channels that are coming in. But at least have a port on it for timecode.
Yes.
So there's timecode being generated by that. The 2 transmitters are synced with that, and at least we've got an option then to take that timecode out to something else.
$399 for the pack for the Go, and then $749 for the Pro. With timecode, 32-bit, and then it's over because they don't need much larger.
It's not going to be because it's going to be lower price. They're never going to go $750. Not Rode.
Whatever.
I'm not saying. I know. I think it's going to be.
Well, they still sell those stinking. What do those Rode links go for?
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's the thing that I was going to say is the Pro version of whatever we're talking about will eventually be what replaces that, I think. But the question is, will they ever go down the road of a frequency-based system or a hybrid, like 2.4, whatever, and a frequency-based system? Because it depends for them who they see their market as. And do they want to, which they have with their microphones, they're definitely targeting, we'll call them creators, but they're also targeting a slightly higher end market with some of their mics. Look at that smug look on Ben. But I think that Rode Link, their original wireless system, is clunky as all heck, and it's long overdue for an update. And I think that they could do some interesting things, and I do think that timecode needs to be part of that story in a big way, not just like an afterthought.
I mean, Brandon says we have other systems for studio and location shoots. These little wireless things will only be used for this on the street interview gig. Agreed, that's the beauty of them. But timecode within that, because if you've got dropout, if you've got interference that's coming, which happens if someone turns around, they're not very good if they're on the backside of somebody. To be able to take the audio off the internal, which is better quality anyway, as we've been discussing, and just to be able to sync it easily, because it is an absolute mess scrubbing through that huge long file to try and find the bit that it's clunky and awful. And there's got to be a way of even if it isn't timecode, of at least making that somehow referenced back to what's going on. I don't know. There's got to be some way of making that workflow easier.
If they put timecode on the cart, then it's fine. Yeah, then we'll be... Yeah? What?
Nah.
No longer available.
Yeah.
I didn't know they discontinued these.
Neither did I.
So there you go. Maybe NAB 2023, we get our Rode Wireless Go Pros, or... I don't know. I just like the name Rode Wireless Go
I think the name
Pro,
is great.
You got the Go and the Pro.
Yeah.
Or just Rode Link 2. That makes sense.
No, I think Rode Link is I think you're right. I just think they'll go for a lower price point. I think they're going to try to hit that $599 in the Pro realm. It doesn't have to be $499. It's not, but they are very aggressive in their pricing strategy. So they could easily do like a $199, $499, or $299, $499, or $299, $599. I don't think they're going over $600. The question is, do they want some of Sony's and some of Letrasonic's business? If they want some of that business, then there's going to be some other stuff in there, and they might even have a frequency-based system, which is scanning and, more reliable for things, and also better in certain shooting environments. I'd go frequency-based all day long in certain shooting situations instead of 2.4 gigahertz.
Yeah,
but it
for
just
sure.
depends, I
But
don't know. Yeah.
is that their, like, as you were saying, is that their space? I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I look at the Rode Procaster 2, and that's an incredibly powerful thing. They're making it into like a mixer now, and all of these other things. If they keep updating that, I mean, like, can you imagine if that was sitting on your desk, and it also was a video switcher, and it also had some sort of noise assist feature and things like that? I mean, I love my Mix Pre, with noise assist. I can't not use it every day now. But if there's something smaller or something integrated into something where I can do other things with it, then I might consider it. I don't love the idea of seeing a mic in frame. I don't love the idea of seeing a big console there all of the time. I like things to be clean. So some people are into that, which is fine, but I like stuff to be sort of invisible. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I love my Sony, the UWP system is fantastic, very reliable. And
They
now
don't do
they have a
anything
much smaller
32-bit
version.
yet, right?
I don't think so. They've made the whole system much smaller. I don't know if they've done 32-bit yet, but that would be interesting.
That'd
because
be wicked.
They're really rock solid, the UWP system. And now
Yeah.
they've gotten the size to, like, it doesn't have to be wireless Go size. I mean, I don't mind, that smaller mid-size form factor, not the Road Link. That's garbage kind of form factor and very plasticky and stuff like that. It does have noise assist, Brandon? I didn't know that. You have to talk to me about that at some point. I did not realize that. Okay. There you go. Exciting.
There you go.
Who found the monkeys? Oh, it's Rick. Okay, I'm tracking now. Tentacle Sync Track E is great too, and Deity's doing some really cool stuff. I just want to see where we're going with the audio market. Maybe some cool stuff at NAB. Who knows?
Yeah. I actually hilariously looked today at that Sound Devices transmitter, the one that's $2,200. Because after the thing with the Rode, I'm like, I'd almost spend that just to have a solid recorder transmitter that was small and just worked.
Does Letrasonics have something that's a recorder? Does Letrasonics have anything that's a recorder transmitter or not?
But I like Sound Devices stuff. But I forgot that that's only the transmitter. You have to spend at least that much or more for the receiver. And now you're like $5-6 grand. It's like, yep, that's crazy talk.
Yeah. Yep. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy
I mean, it's annoying. It's just like the Red thing. It's like we have the technology, but there's patents mucking things up.
One in particular in the audio space.
Yeah.
Which
is
like,
come on,
insane.
Record and transmit at the same time. That's like old news. But
nope. I mean, but Zaxcom,
it's not worldwide though. It's only US, isn't it?
The Zaxcom one is, but how much money can they be making as a company? Can't just somebody go in there and just say, like, can Rode just buy Zaxcom for fuck's sake? I mean,
right.
Like, somebody just needs to buy them, and then let's get competitive again. I mean, I just feel like it is stifling that one part of what a lot of us want.
Yep.
Stupid. No, please, Thaddeus? Oh, you don't want them to. Rode to buy Zaxcom? Well, something that's going to resolve this patent issue, which to me seems totally ridiculous. But, I'm not Zaxcom. To Zaxcom, it doesn't seem ridiculous at all. Maybe that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for, like, we'll give you
someone to make the big offer.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's not going to be like, we're going to give you $1 million. They're just going to, no, not worth it. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Rick, ridiculous. Now we're getting De Palma references. Does Letrasonic seems to have resolved the issue with Zaxcom? I don't know. In what way? They're doing that with their system? I don't really the only time I have Letrasonic's sort of interaction is when I hire sound recordists and sound mixers.
Right.
And in the US, it's almost always a sound devices, mixer recorder, and then it's a Letrasonics transmitter receiver system. It's almost 100% of high-end sound recordists. That's the way they go. It's like the 8 series or the 6 series. Yeah. And then it's Letrasonics. And they're just, there's tons of COS 11s in there. There's always a Tram, 50 in there. They've got all the little bells and whistles, all the little, the little buttons and everything else to hide it. And I love it. I mean, that's I just eat that stuff up. It's so cool. Wouter says just a different firmware and a checkbox saying, I promise, for not using it in the US. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right.
Maybe Ben needs to buy some stuff for me and bring it over at NAB. We can do a little bartering.
Oh, come on, Camille. Come on.
That we can do.
There it is.
Come on. Where are we going? Boom.
No.
And, wait. I got to give it. So I'm going to put is that over me? Let's put it over my ugly mug. There we go. Oh, look at that. All right. We will buy some booze. And I'll have a drink next time. That's what I'm going to do. It's beautiful. Yeah, let's do it.
So how many of these have we got before we're all together in person? 2 more?
Yeah.
No, 1 more. 2 more.
Today's February, March.
Yeah. So March and the beginning of April, and then we're together.
And we're gonna do one from the show. We got to find a room or something, and like on Monday or Tuesday, just take an hour and a bottle of scotch.
That we need to go and research thoroughly in that.
Hair of the
shop.
Dog, Total Wine and More. I know.
Place.
Total Wine and More.
Yeah.
That was the best place ever. Can we just try this one? Like, you two have been in here for like an hour. Just buy something already. But we just need to try.
Well, they have samples of it. It's like going into a Trader Joe's for alcohol. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That was such a fun afternoon. We were hammered coming out of there.
I love it. It was beautiful.
We were staggering across the car park back to the Ube with that weird bottle of Indian whiskey.
Yeah.
After trying every other bottle they had.
Do you like Indian food, Caleb? I forgot.
I do.
Do you? You do.
I like all foods.
You know what we should do? We should try to find a good curry when we're in Vegas, because they do. I know there's good curry there. We just have to find it.
Yeah.
I will hop in an Uber with you, gents, and we could do a curry one night. Would be good.
Cool. I think
it'd be great. Like,
Love it.
Yeah, that has to happen. Perfect. So Brandon's coming. I know a couple of other people are coming. We'll maybe try to set something up, everybody, where at midday between Central and South Hall or something, where we just hang out. Depends on how
grab a
blazing
$10
drink Bud Light. $10
shots of Bud Light.
Yeah.
Brandon's skipping the curry. But, it's really annoying. When we used to go to NAB, you could go to any of the hotels, especially when you had a car, and they would valet for free at all the hotels. And now parking, they must make so much money on parking nowadays. It's got to be.
Yeah, parking was free.
But the hotels are through the roof as well. Everything. Vegas is not as... And I wonder if that's going to affect visitor numbers as well, because if you're not being paid for by your company...
Yeah.
The cost of hotel rooms, the cost of a visit to Vegas now is insane compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
When you used to get a room, you used to get vouchers for breakfast and lunch at the buffet, and none of that happens anymore. That's going back a little while.
Yeah. Oh, you know where else we have to hit is oh my God. It's that breakfast place. It's great. The Peppermill. The Peppermill. Yeah.
I love that place.
Oh. Did we ever go? Did we go, Caleb? Oh,
no.
We have to have breakfast at the Peppermill.
Yeah,
for sure, we have that. Peppermill's fantastic.
The biggest portions of, maybe not the general US ones, but like I get there, they just bring stuff and you go.
I love the Peppermill.
I can't do it, but they're so nice. In there.
Wait, we didn't go together last time, Caleb? I thought we went out to
I don't think so.
At the Peppermill.
No.
Because it was right around the corner from where we were. Maybe we didn't.
Oh yeah, if you were staying at you were staying at the.
I might have had breakfast with Scotty at the Peppermill.
No,
Scotty.
We ended up having breakfast like in your hotel.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but we didn't go out today.
F Denny's. What are you kidding, Rick? Banned for life. IHOP sucks.
And the best.
F it.
The best thing about the Peppermill for those of you that don't know, so that it's kind of a diner with lots of neon and all sorts going on, and the great breakfasts, but the other half of it is the fireside lounge, which is kind of amazing. This bizarre, also full of weird neon, but with an open fire in the middle of it. Now the cocktail waitresses come from there at 7 a.m. when you're having breakfast, going, "Can I get you a cocktail from the fireside lounge?" Sorry. Yeah. What? Coffee? And it's just this surreal, awesome. Bizarre really cool. place with mirrors. All right. So
now we're doing Lotus. We're doing a curry, and we're gonna do the Peppermill. I think we'll see.
Curry the last night. Kids. I think.
I have to go. Oh my! No, not before I get on an airplane. Are you effing crazy? It's not happening, sir.
It's getting on an airplane with people that don't really matter, opposed to
except for
talking
me,
to people you like.
I'm not 10-2ing on an airplane, so let's not talk about that. All right, we're done. Now we're back. It's full circle with the conversation about sleeping which way, and now we've ended this way. It's bookended.
With curry.
What's the name?
Yep.
What's the name of this episode?
You
Let's
guys
go,
have
everybody.
To comment.
It's not titled
yet. You got to name this episode.
I'm going to screenshot it and pick one of them. Okay, it's a title. It can have many words with a comma, so you got to name it. Wouter, I know we screwed up last week. I think it was Wouter I screwed up with. Last month. Put your right now. Last couple of minutes. I got to fly. Hello from Baghdad. That's not the name.
Wow.
Of the title. Is that the name? You're joking. No, I think you mean you are actually in Baghdad. That is.
I think Small Brown Fox has been in Baghdad before on an episode. Sorry, I think
that is actually kind of a great title for the live stream. But
this is saved, right? Like you can rewatch the chat after.
Yeah.
Rudy,
but I have to screenshot it.
Flesh and fruity.
No,
I'm
even.
not joking.
Okay,
He's hello from Baghdad.
Okay.
Camera carts and curry.
A couple more camera carts and curry. Okay. All right.
That's good.
That's good.
I think we can get
time
play off
code
of that
coffee
one.
Machine.
Wow,
time code coffee machine's good as well.
Syncing back and other audio things.
All right, a couple more. Let's go. Hello from Baghdad. It sounds like a great movie title too. Hello from Baghdad.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, or a band
really
name.
Good.
I don't know.
We're definitely going to do another challenge at some point too.
32-bit flask.
Love it.
Pretty good.
All right, we're getting close. Gear carts. I'm assuming Mitch and other essentials. Okay.
Roadside peppy.
I've just goes
roadside pepper curry. Roadside pepper curry. I just got it.
My God. Mile High Curry Club? No, you can't. That's not right.
Carts, farts, and audio parts. That's good too.
That's
accurate. That might take it.
That's brilliant. That's got to win.
I'm sure there was some farts on that ski trip in that bed, for sure. 100%.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's
we got something in there.
You got the rhyme and everything.
That's the one.
Love you guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the stream. We'll be back first Wednesday of March with more shenanigans. That will be our pre-NAB. And then the one after that is from NAB, which is
crazy.
Oh, so
tell your friends. Yes, what?
Oh, because it's going to be the first of March.
Or it might be the second. Well,
March and April the same.
Maybe it's going to be
always
the
second
same week. Maybe it's the second week of March.
Okay, if we roll it to the second week, I'm going to be in Egypt with. I'm not apparently the
second week?
internet's not very good. The first week.
What
I'm
about
there
you?
from the 27th to the 11th.
What about you, Caleb?
On March? I mean, we could.
Yeah, let's
wait,
figure
March
it out.
or April?
March.
March. Yeah, next month.
March.
What can we do? So we've got March 1st, March 11th.
I cannot do
March
the second
15th.
week. I
Okay.
can do the first, according to
And
the calendar, and the
and the
15th,
third?
22nd.
15th I can do.
It looks like any one but the 8th is
You
open
can't do
according
you
to
can't
my
do the
calendar
first,
at this moment.
Ben?
No. Oh,
No, Ben.
can't.
No, I will. Well, two problems. One, I'm another time zone further east, so I will be like ridiculously late, and I'm on this course for 11 days. So,
that means
and
no.
apparently the internet's really bad. So I would say
So the answer is no.
yeah. The answer is no. So the 15th, because I'm there. I'm there for the first and the second week.
Okay, so it's March 15th. So it'll be the third week. It's an odd one, but we'll be getting pretty close to NAB. Hopefully there'll be some nice rumors and some rumblings going on by then. Subscribe, go check things out, and I'm going to have a drink on that one for sure.
Boom. March 15th,
Yes.
I moved it.
Fantastic.
Me too. It's on the calendar. You guys are awesome. Thanks everybody for coming. Tell your friends.
Yep.
And don't keep it too secret that we're out of our minds and we talk about anything. And enjoy your families and all that good stuff.
All right.
All the best.
All right.
All right. Love you guys.
Lovely to talk to everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.